we in the Green Party are very honoured to be part of this movement. Last week was eventful, and for me being half Basque, it was because on Monday it looked like peace could break out in the Basque country. And the connection here is that a part of the world where, because of the Spanish Civil War and the humanitarian convoys, it provides much of the inspiration for Viva Palestina. And the Basques today identify with the Palestinians in Gaza. They too feel hemmed in by two neighbours, France and Spain, as Gaza is by Egypt and Israel. But here's the difference. The population of Spain is a tiny proportion, a tiny fraction to that of Spain. But incredibly, Israel has an air force which is twice as powerful. And if you want to see some of their weapons, they're there. There's a gentleman there who's got all the planes. They've got F-16s, Apache helicopters, and what have the Palestinians got? Maybe some stones, maybe some, just their lives. It has a massive military machine which is totally out of proportion to its population. And every year we wonder, when will Israel attack Gaza? When will it attack Lebanon? And when will it attack Iran? Now, a few dozen miles from Gaza, Israel has stockpiles of nuclear missiles, weapons and bombs. Yet in London and Washington, they worry about a state which has no nuclear weapons and ignore the one that does. So I ask, why Tehran? Why not Tel Aviv? They cannot continue treating Israel as if it were a normal state. It's not. And that's why we demand from the Green Party that the EU scrap the association agreement and all its trading agreements. Now, the EU isn't a brave institution, we know that, but it has a get-out clause, because that agreement is based on the practice of human rights. Now, the collective punishment of the Palestinian people is an abuse of human rights of innocent men, women and children, and the EU should be doing its job now. Now, if you look at reality, I don't have a lot of faith in Sarkozy, Berlusconi, Merkel, I'm not going to mention Cameron. But those European ones, they're up for election next year, and we can live in hope, as Tony Benn says. And Europe cannot wait for Obama to find his soul. It's up to us.
Yeah.
Now, some things should be said if they're worth saying. So we heard about Tunisia, and I think we should congratulate the people of Tunisia for what they've done last Friday. It sent shockwaves throughout the Arab world, and this is concentrating minds in Algiers, in Amman, and most of all in Cairo. Now, Egypt was once the leader of the Arab world, but Hosni Mubarak, to his shame, he has reduced it into the Philippines of the Middle East. And I don't attack that country, I'm attacking the neoliberalism of that country. Egypt is a country which is strapped on a life support machine, it's barely alive economically, and is totally dependent on American aid. Now, Egypt is the key. It always was, and it always will be. Its on-off blockade, its on-off restrictions on entry and exit show that it has absolutely no intention of allowing Gaza to truly flourish. We cannot look to that current regime as any source of hope. That's why I look to the Egyptians in London and around the world to lead a movement to bring down autocracy and replace it with some real democracy, so that we can support it from here. That's the hope. The example of Tunisia has to spread around the Arab world. And if Egypt is liberated in the near future, hopefully the next few years, we wish the next few months, but even if it is the next few years, it will transform the Middle East. Because when Egypt stops collaborating in making Gaza an open-air prison for 1.5 million people, and as we've heard, half of them are children, then we will see the beginning of the end to the suffering, the end to the punishment, and the end to the strangulation of the Palestinian people. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Farid. Tony.